Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please go ahead, click on subscribe, and also click on that bell to receive all the updates on my channel, as well as the sled. Also check me out on Instagram, and you'll see some updates before they get posted on YouTube. So about a week later, the Indy Trail has been completely ransacked and treated with no respect. All the rear skid's out, the track's out, trailing arms are off, tie rods, radius arms, skis, and everything. So this is pretty much, it's not looking good for the Indy Trail. I don't think it's ever going to see the snow ever again. So never come out to the garage and say, you know what, I'll have this done in an hour. It'll go pretty quick, right? Because usually when you say something like that, you're just jinxing yourself and setting yourself up for failure, and essentially that's what I did today. So I came out here this morning and said, you know what, I'm gonna put in the chain case for reverse. I should be done in an hour and a half, and then I can get the skid out, blah, 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 blah. Well, didn't turn out that way. Made a pretty big bonehead move, but in the end, we did get it squared away. So what I was doing was, you know, when I was cross-referencing from the Indy Trail, I was looking at a lot of the parts and I said, yep, everything crossover, you know, it's a good fit on the XCR to the trail. Everything should be good to go. One thing I never checked, which I never thought I would have to, was the jack shaft, right? And it turns out the jack shaft is different on the XCR from the Indy Trail. So what happened was, I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna remove the existing chain case, bang, 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 and throw the one from the Indy Trail on there. So I did that in the morning. I took it apart, and what I did is I started putting the chain case on from the Indy Trail. And I really didn't have to do this because I wasn't paying attention. And so what happened was I started putting it on the chain case. It didn't fit. I couldn't understand why. The lower bearing was fine, but I was having nothing but issues on the upper bearing. So I went ahead and removed the circlets and the bearings and everything else. I tried to forcing it in there by tightening up the hardware on the shafts, and I ended up just binding this thing in the tunnel, and I couldn't actually get it out. So I actually had to remove the skid and the track, which is fine because that's part of the project anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I wasn't planning on doing that today. But in essence, I didn't have to do any of this, right? Because, you know, the only real requirement for reverse is the presence of a ground shaft and the reversing gears, and then obviously the gear set on the bottom, right? On the XCR, the stud is already there on the back half of the chain case, but it doesn't have the ground shaft, right? So in essence, all I had to do was remove the ground shaft from the Indy Trail and put it on the XCR, right? So instead, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at the big picture, not the all little details, and I ran into all these issues. And when all I had to do was remove the ground shaft and put it on the stud and the existing chain case, and just install the gear set from on the bottom from the Indy Trail and the reversing gears from the Indy Trail, and just use the existing top gear and the hardware from the XCR. Used in, you know, the chain we actually use this is from the XCR. The tensioner is from the XCR. It doesn't really matter. Those are the same. But again, my mistake. You know, I created a lot more work for myself unnecessarily. If I was just paying attention, you know, I was looking at the parts diagram and everything else and make sure, oh yeah, this should fit, oh yeah, this should be good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let's do it. And nope, didn't turn out that way. You know, so it's about 5:30, 6 o'clock now. I did go somewhere for about 3 or 4 hours, but I've been at this for the better part of 5 or 6 hours, and finally got it together. So, but anyway, lesson learned, right? So what we're gonna do is, at this point, the track and the skid from the XCR are lying on the floor. We're not gonna be rebuilding that. So at this point, what we're gonna do is tomorrow, today's Saturday, tomorrow we're gonna start measuring for the mounting points for the extra 10 skid. We'll start installing the support brackets and get the skid in, get the track in, and hopefully, depending on how thing goes, maybe we'll get the front suspension in. But you know what? Based on what happened today, I'll be lucky if I get even a bolt installed. So, you know what? We'll hope for the best. We'll hope for the best, prepare for the worst, right? I guess that's what they say. All right, so this is the update on the XCR. If there's any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and leave them in the comments box. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you learned something. If not, watch it again. You'll probably learn something anyway. So have a good day. Talk to you later. See ya.